The next big concept we need to talk about with trail braking revolves around the traction scale. Just like we had with our throttle and lean angle, we have the same scale that applies to our brakes and lean angle. So we've covered this before. It makes it pretty easy to remember, but it goes something like this. We've got 100 points of available brake pressure now, and we've also got 100 points of available lean angle. These two values combined equal the available traction to our front tires. So these two values together can never exceed 100 points or we're going to have problems. Now again, we'll take a real world example here. You can see as this rider leans into the corner and adds lean angle, they're having to remove brake pressure, release brake pressure, in order to stay within our traction scale. This is really important. Now, another real world example that some of you may have felt at home is we've gone into a corner and we've said to ourselves, hey, we're going to trail brake. We're going to try this out. Maybe somebody explained the concept to you and you said you wanted to try this out for yourselves. And you went into the corner, went to the brakes, and the bike stood up and ran wide. Now, why did that happen? Because that's the exact opposite of what we're saying is going to happen here. We're telling you that trail braking is going to close your line. It's going to decrease your radius. It's going to make your line tighten. But when you tried it, the bike stood up and wanted to run wide. This ties right back to the traction scale. Now, what happened there? Usually, it's one of two things or a combination of both. You either simply exceeded the limits of the traction scale when it comes to lean angle versus brake pressure, or more likely, you weren't smooth enough with your application of the brakes. Usually when riders really experience trail braking for the first time, it's in an emergency or panic situation. Now, what that means is that oftentimes that squeeze of the brake lever is a little bit abrupt, and again, this ties right back to the traction scale that we're talking about here, in that whenever you're adding lean angle, we need to be taking away brake pressure. We can't have brake pressure being added while lean angle is being added. That gets us into some sticky situations. So that's an understanding of what happens in those instances, or what has happened in those instances where you've been riding, said, hey, I'm going to trail brake, or we're forced to trail brake, and you had less than desirable results. So what we're going to cover in this course, though, is going to teach you the right way to trail brake. It's going to teach you how to practice this at home, how to experience this, and how to go about learning this skill in a safe and controlled manner.